Manhattan streetlights flickered in the cold evening as the bustling hum of patrons filled the upscale restaurant. Amelia Rivers, a 25-year-old waitress, moved gracefully between tables, balancing trays with precision while her mind raced with thoughts of her dream. For the past 3 years, Amelia had worked tirelessly, juggling double shifts at the restaurant to save enough for her true passion, a bakery where she could create a space for people to gather, share stories, and enjoy freshly baked treats. Her smile was her armor, and her resilience, her fuel. That night, the air was heavier with a chill, and as the door swung open, a man clad in a black hoodie and sunglasses entered. He moved deliberately, trying to blend in with the crowd, but his towering presence stood out. Amelia didn't pay much attention until she approached his table to take his order. As he lowered his hood slightly, her breath caught in her throat. "What can I get you?" she asked. Her voice steady despite the surge of excitement. "Just a black coffee, please," he replied softly, his eyes meeting hers. The Hollywood superstar sat quietly, his desire to remain anonymous clear. Amelia quickly returned with his coffee, her heart pounding in her chest. "I won't tell anyone," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. Dwayne chuckled softly, a smile spreading across his face. "Thank you. I appreciate that." But the calm didn't last long. As the evening went on, whispers turned into murmurs, and murmurs escalated into outright chaos. Customers began snapping pictures, their phones glowing in the dim light, their excitement palpable. Before long, the manager, Philip, stormed toward Amelia. His face red with fury, he pulled her aside. "What did I tell you about VIPs?" he hissed. "Get him out of here. Now!" Amelia's heart raced. "But he's just having a coffee," she started to argue. However, Philip's glare silenced her. "No arguments. Now." Reluctantly, she approached Dwayne's table. "I'm really sorry, but my manager is asking if you could perhaps finish your coffee somewhere else," she said, her voice trembling slightly. Dwayne didn't flinch. He nodded, standing slowly. "No problem. Thanks for the coffee," he said calmly. He left without a scene, but Amelia felt the weight of his departure in her chest. The next day, the restaurant buzzed with chatter, but for all the wrong reasons. Philip summoned Amelia into his office. "You've ruined this restaurant," he bellowed, his voice echoing off the walls. "Do you know how many reservations we lost last night because of your little stunt?" His face was contorted with anger. Amelia's vision blurred with tears, but she held her ground. "I didn't do anything wrong," she said firmly, her voice steady despite the storm inside her. "I stood up for what I believed in." Philip's eyes narrowed. "You're fired," he said coldly, handing her a severance check with a dismissive wave of his hand. Amelia gathered her belongings, her dream of opening a bakery feeling further out of reach than ever. That night, she sat alone in her small apartment, feeling the weight of her failure settle in her chest. She questioned whether all her sacrifices had been for nothing. When suddenly, a knock echoed through her apartment. Groggy and disoriented, she opened the door to find a sharply dressed man standing there. "Miss Amelia Rivers?" he asked, a gentle smile on his face. "I'm here on behalf of Mr. Dwayne Johnson. He'd like to meet with you." Confused and overwhelmed, Amelia followed the man to a sleek black SUV. They drove in silence until they arrived at a towering building downtown. Inside, a spacious, luxurious office awaited her, and Dwayne sat comfortably, a warm smile lighting up his face. "Amelia," he said softly, gesturing for her to sit. "I heard what happened. You stood up for me when it wasn't easy, when it cost you your job. That kind of integrity is rare." He slid a folder across the desk. "Inside is a business proposal I want you to consider. I want to help you achieve your dream of opening a bakery. And some of these other girlfriends, that's not classifiable anymore." Amelia's hands trembled as she opened the folder, revealing a comprehensive plan for a fully funded bakery with a prime location. "You're serious?" she whispered, tears brimming in her eyes. "Dead serious," Wayne confirmed. "All you need to do is say yes." Weeks later, Amelia's sweet escape opened to a line of eager customers stretching down the block. The grand opening was nothing short of magical, with media coverage and local buzz surrounding every corner. Dwayne Johnson was there, cutting the ribbon and posing for photos, proving his unwavering support. Jen and Trell say, "I think the game is somehow understanding all this." But as her bakery became a local sensation, her past returned, this time darker and more menacing. One evening, as Amelia closed up, a black SUV parked outside, two masked figures emerging from the shadows. Fear gripped her, but she stood her ground, picking up the phone to call the police. Before she could press the call button, the door burst open again. Dwayne, flanked by his security team, entered swiftly. The intruders were swiftly subdued, their true identity revealed. Phillips hired thugs. They were arrested, and the story made headlines. Public outrage exploded, rallying around Amelia and transforming her bakery into a symbol of resilience. From that moment, Amelia's bakery wasn't just a place for pastries. It was a sanctuary for dreams, a testament to standing firm against adversity. Dwayne continued to stand by her side, ensuring her vision was protected, and her story became a beacon of hope for anyone daring to pursue what seemed impossible. Standing behind the counter one evening, Amelia watched her loyal customers line up for her famous cinnamon rolls, the room alive with laughter and warmth. "Everything okay?" Dwayne asked as he walked in, his voice steady and reassuring. Amelia smiled, a tear slipping down her cheek. "Better than okay," she replied. "I'm ready for whatever comes next."